Welcome. Today I would like to show you how to cut wood more accurately and more easily. Let's get started. Okay, so I've laid out on my workbench some of the tools you'll need. You'll need a speed square, pencil, marking knife, or a regular utility knife, crosscut saw, practice board, preferably pine or something soft like cedar, and some of these. These are some hooks that I made, and this will help you to hold the wood without it sliding on you. So what I did is I glued a piece of wood here to this longer one, and then another one the same size. These are the same size as well as those. Those are all the same size, same length, and they've been glued and clamped with wood glue. Okay, so that's it for the tools. Let's get started. Okay, so I want to show you how these hooks work. So basically, take your hook, push it up against your workbench like this. Do the same with the other one. Now you want to set it a little narrower than the length of your board. For this purpose, I'm going to move it here, just so I can mark my line. Let's say you want to cut it here. Okay, so you're going to make your mark and move a bit closer to the camera, that way you can see. Move that to that side. Okay, so take this off, and this is important on how to hold the square. So you want a thumb on the outside here, okay, finger here in the middle, and you're pushing down on the speed square, and then at the opposite end here with these fingers, you're going to be squeezing like this. So squeeze and then push down all at the same time. Take your pencil, gonna mark across, and next what we can do is take your utility blade or your marking knife, and basically you're gonna be applying pressure sideways with your knife, at the same time making sure this stays tight so it doesn't move. And we're going to cut deeper and deeper into the wood. There we go. Now we have a nice deep line. Now what we'll do is we'll flip the board, and what I'll do is also slide the knife till it drops into the knife line that we did. We'll hear it. There we go. Now it's in. So that way we can take the square, slide it up to the knife. That way we know we're exactly on our line. That's how you get your accurate cuts. Now I can make a little line across, go deeper and deeper as we go. Okay, so now we have one line here, one line here. Now what I like to do is create a V. So this is the side that's not useful to us. We're going to get rid of that. So what I like to do is I cut a V about that wide, and I angle my blade like this. And what that does is it creates a little track for our saw to run in. Now I didn't go deep enough, so I'm going to do a second pass, and there we go. Okay, so now we're ready to cut. So you want to hold your saw like you'd be holding a pencil. So you extend the fingertip, and you don't want to monkey grip this. You don't want to grip this extremely tight. And as we go along, the technique changes. So as you're sawing into the board, there's little things that we can do to make it easier for us. First thing being, we'll drop the tip of our saw in our little track that we made. I'm going to put my finger up against the saw, and don't worry about the teeth biting into you. If you take your time, you'll be fine. Just go nice and slow if you need to. So we start by doing little nibbles, and you need a nice sharp saw, and we're not putting any pressure. We're not pushing down. You actually want to lift up on the saw a little bit when you start. So little nibbles, and I'm not completely flat when I start, because that'll make it want to bounce out. What you do is you angle it forward a little bit, and you're trying to keep it nice and vertical as well. So you might not cut straight the first few weeks, but as you practice more and more, it'll get much easier. So now I'm making my strokes longer and starting to use most of the length of the saw here. And as I go along, I can also start to tip my saw back. Now we're near the end, so now I can start laying my saw flat. Now we can do nice long strokes. Remember not to push down. Just let the weight of the saw do the work. And if you find it's jamming, it's probably because your saw is not sharp, or you're pushing too hard, or you're not taking long enough strokes. So now I'm getting near the end of my cut, and you start to hear the sound change as I'm going down. Now that means I have to lift up on the handle and slow down my cuts. The sound is changing. There we go. We're through. So we should have a nice, even, clean cut. Perfect. And if I take my square, you'll notice that we're nice and square. We're also square in the other direction. Now, you might be off by a degree or two, but you can always fix that with a hand plane on the edge here with a shooting board. And that's a subject for another video. So, I hope these tips helped you out. So have fun, and don't get discouraged if you don't get it on the first try or first 100 tries. Just keep practicing. You'll get better and better as you go along. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.